Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy T,
And it's your boy D.
And it's your boy Jay.
and this is Unquoted, your number one source for pop culture commentary. Let's go. Okay, guys, so today's topic is second album Jinx. Let's go. What do you guys think about it?
Like, if we were talking about like second major like label studio album Jinx, then yeah, it's a definite thing. But I think the reason it happens is because usually when a rapper is like coming up, they drop mixtapes, little projects here and there. So we can like say like okay, like that that rapper is putting in 100% of effort into that project. But then once they reach that major studio label like level, they have to put in 150% of like effort. And then once they do that, we as fans expect them to like constantly put in 150 or maybe even more, like 200% effort. And they barely even did 150, and then they usually falter all because of that. If you guys can like get my drift on like that kind of
Yeah.
situation.
I would say, yeah, second album, Jinx, that shit is very real. And it's just the same, almost it feels the same way with like movies. Like you have the first movie is always like seems like the best, and the second one is always trash. When movies, like the second one is always trash, but I wouldn't say that same thing applies to rappers. I'd say a lot of rappers' second albums are mostly decent, like for the most part, but it just depends. And that can also be like the trajectory of your career. Like if your second album is like if your first album's a hit and like everybody's listening to it, and then your second album is trash, your career can really fall off after that point real quick, because you can kind of lose relevancy very fast. But if your second album is just as good, or if better, or almost just as good as your first one, then your relevancy can last for a lot longer in the rap game, and you could really elevate in it, I would say.
I would say for me is I do believe it's a thing, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad second album. I just think it's just a shift in pace that I feel like rappers a lot of times after the first album they don't know where to go. And like for example of this, I would say is definitely Kendrick and Big Sean. Like Kendrick's first album, Good Kid, Mad City, was probably one of the best albums I'd heard in a long time. And then his second album, it wasn't bad. To Pimp a Butterfly, it was just like it was just such a change in direction. And I just didn't like it. To be completely honest about it.
I mean, yeah, but that second album still got like a lot of like high praise. Cause
A lot.
yeah, cause like Kendrick just makes different bodies of like work. So it's like don't expect Good Kid, Mad City 2, because even like Kendrick stated that he will never do that, mainly because he can't top it though.
No, I get that, but the thing is like, okay, my thing is like, you can't really do it. You really can't judge someone's opinion on music because you think about music is all subjective. So certain music is going to sound good to certain other people. So it's kind of hard. That's why I really don't take music reviews completely seriously, just because someone could say it's great and I listen to it, I not like it.
Yeah.
Because music is one of those things that's very like topsy turvy. But like in my opinion, like Kendrick and Big Sean, the reason why I didn't like their albums is that the fact that like, okay, I understand I wasn't gonna get another Big Kid, Mad City, I wasn't gonna get another Finally Famous. The thing is like, I want variety, right? And that's the key two thing I can say about those albums. Good Kid, Mad City, whatever you want to say about it, good or bad, variety, right? Finally Famous, good or bad, what are you gonna say about it? Variety, right?
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly, it's kind of like one tone throughout the entire thing, and it's got some songs that shift around. And as for Big Sean Hall of Fame was just all over the place. It wasn't a awful album, but it just was a very like unconcentrated one. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
cohesive. It wasn't like
Yeah, it
cohesive.
wasn't cohesive. It felt like it could have just been a mixtape because it was so sporadic. And it wasn't bad, but I don't think he had any song on there or any couple of songs on there. I was like, yo, I really mess with this, And I think that's what kind of makes sophomore albums a little bit weak. I think if you have a sophomore album and there's no song that's like just bam, like you know what I'm saying, impactful, I think that really hurts it at the end of the day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I merely think that sometimes people put too much effort in into their like first album, and then the second album, it's like not bad, but it's just not as good as the first. And like you like seeing that, or like hearing it kind of makes you think like, oh, he fell off because this other album, it wasn't really it, even though it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and I would say like the media or like rappers like following base, like sometimes they put too much pressure on the rapper, and they set their expectations too high. So if it doesn't live up to the expectations of the fans of that rapper, then people are going to be disappointed by the album. So sometimes the fans will like set too high of an expectation for the rapper, and they're not really capable of fitting that expectation because it's just too high of an expectation for that specific rapper, and then that could also be a deterring factor for that rapper's career.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of like why I don't like the sequel albums, because like Migos, when they put out Culture, it was probably like a great album, and then
It
Culture
was.
2 came out, and it wasn't a bad album. It was
It was
okay.
disappointing.
It just didn't hit the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like
And it was too many songs.
because Culture One, like that was a
Culture
classic.
One was very much a classic. Every song on that album. And then another thing is sometimes rappers will put too many songs on their albums as well. It's like they'll drop a second album, then put too much music on there. And then when you put too much music on your album, like 20 plus songs, like that's just too much music. And then people kind of can't really enjoy like each song individually because there's so much music they're listening to, trying to process all of it.
yeah, I honestly I would prefer rappers to put out, like, if they're gonna do that, like if they're gonna put out that many songs, I'd rather them just put out an album in the beginning of the year and then pull out an album at the end of the year, than just like have them like like it's just too much music. Not only that, but it's just that like there's a lot of half songs on those albums. I don't know if you guys realize that, but there's like a whole lot of just kind of like it just sounds unfinished.
Yeah, that's true. But I've heard that I think rappers, well, a lot of artists do that now for like streaming
Dreaming.
purposes. Yeah, because I think they said that every 10 songs that counts as like one album listen. So if they have 20, songs, and then you listen to them at least once, that's like 2 albums listens right there. So that can like be used to pad their numbers. That's why a lot of them like add a bunch of songs now.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So I mean, it's just whatever.
So
But
do you guys?
I think go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jay. What are you guys saying?
Well, this is going to be my closing thought. I was going to say that I think anytime rappers do put like too much music on their album, they should always like reconsider that before they do that, because rappers should always view their albums as quality over quantity. Like you don't want to just put too much music and then have people think it's going to be good because it's a lot of songs. But you should go aim for quality over quantity and aim to make your songs really good. I would much rather have 10 to 12 really good songs than 20 to 25 just decent songs, or bad songs and some good. Like I'd rather have a good album of all good songs, around like 10 to 12 songs.
Perfect.
What's your closing thought, D?
Now, my closing thought is just try to give 100% every time, or like try to raise your like standard like level of music quality, so you like don't have to push yourself too hard and then burn out on your sophomore like project.
What I'm gonna say is that like it's kind of like among the lines of what D was saying, and a little bit among the lines of what you were saying, Jay, is the fact that I feel like when rappers have the second album, that I think they should just take a break automatically, because a lot of times, sometimes they try to come up with a second album too fast, and it just doesn't hit the same, or that like sometimes they'll come out with a second album really fast and it's completely different and it kind of catches you off guard, because not all second albums are bad. Like Drake's Take Care, a lot of people love it. I'll be honest, I still like his first album better than I like Take Care, but I still like Take Care. But it was just such a change in motion. But I think because Drake waited so long to release it, people didn't mind it. So I think that's also the key to it too. But this has been your boy T,
This has been your boy D.
This has been your boy Jay.
and we are out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.